another question as we start to wrap up here, so I can respect your time for this. We're going to do another one, by the way. We'll do another one because we want to talk about a little bit deeper issue. But tell me, what are you doing right now? What are you doing right now to helping people? How are you doing this? Well, what are you doing to help people?
Well, I have my book out there. So I did I published my book. And I do interviews about it. I'm hoping to do some more book club performances, with people. And and I serve in community boards here. I do a lot of community work in my new community because I love it and I feel like giving back here. They've given me so much, so I do a lot of community work, and I'm writing something else,
Okay, perfect,
which I
perfect.
really don't want to talk about, but I'm
Well,
writing something else that has a lot of similar things in it, and it's about relationships and hard relationships.
okay.
But I'm doing it and I'm doing it in novel form.
Well, tell us a little bit then. We won't go there yet. But that's on the second or third episode. But talk about disassembly required. How's that put together? Maybe you can even like highlight a couple of the chapters there to say, I did this chapter, this chapter, this chapter to create this, or no. It's when you talk about resurrection, that's a big word. But tell us disassembly required. Tell us a little bit about that book.
So, I it in a memoir, it's not an autobiography, so it's not my entire life.
Yes.
So it focuses mainly on that last year in my house when the decision had been made. I knew that I had to sell the house and come to grips with that. And basically, it was like you're living with me for a year as I declutter, as I examine things, as I look at things that I'd been afraid to look at, as I take my daughter to college and I realize now I'm going to have an empty nest, and then also explore, well, what am I going to do with my life now? Now it does have some initial chapters that are backstory, because you have to understand why this woman came to this
Mm-hmm.
place in her life. Why did she
Right.
come to this crossroads? Why is she here? What happened to her? And why is she in so much pain? So the book has backstory that tells you that. But I really wanted to focus, and I could have focused on a lot of things. I could have focused on, the divorce aspect of it. I could have focused on, all the pain. I could have focused on, yeah, my ex did me wrong.
Right.
um,
Right.
and what I really realized is that yes, there's all that stuff in the backstory, because you have to understand this woman that is at this place in her life. But the most important part of this story is, how did she figure things out? And what did she literally do? And to get to the place where she is now, that she started her life over. So that's really the story. But I sort of really have tried to put everyone in my place. I wanted the feel to be, you're walking through this experience with me, which is what I try and do when I'm writing memoir pieces.
Okay, and this simply required kind of gives people that solution, so they go out and get it. They'll see how you solved it, and maybe that'll help them solve it.
Yeah, and food for thought.